Hey guys, good evening. We'll just give 5-6 minutes for others to join and then we'll get started. Hey guys, we'll wait for maybe 2-3 minutes for others to join and then we'll get started. We'll just give final 1 minute guys and then we'll get started. Fine, guys, we'll get started. I'll start the recording. Okay, so very quick introduction about me, guys. I'm Satish. I have close to 15 years of experience across the various aspects of SDLC, from performance testing, performance engineering, product development, product engineering. So I've been working across various aspects of the SDLC in the last 14, 15 years. Right? I'm also part of the corporate training with Isha for last 3+ years, taking courses, especially on performance engineering, K6 performance testing tool, and Linux performance DevOps courses. So those are the my experience from training and corporate training perspective. Okay. So this course is uh, structured, tailored for performance engineers, performance engineering at a beginners and beginner to intermediate. Okay. What I'll do today is I'll go over the course content and I'll walk you through what you will learn in the next 3 to 4 weeks. What kind of applications we'll be using it for our hands-on, and then if there are any questions, we can discuss. Okay, so that's a plan for today. Since it's a demo session, I wanted to first of all explain you what are all things that you will learn and how will you learn with the kind of applications and so on. And from tomorrow, we will be getting started with the day one. Okay, so before we get started, right, I'm just curious to understand when we say performance engineering, right, it means a different thing for different people. Okay, I just want to know from you what you mean by performance engineering, or what you think that you will be learning. So if you can just put it in the chat, right? Say monitoring, or you can say AppDynamics, whatever it is. Just put it in the chat, or you can voice it over. I'll just note it down so that we will get a compiled version of all these uh, terminologies, right? So just go ahead and then you can put it in the chat what you mean by performance engineering as per you. Go ahead, you can put it in the chat, guys, and I'll note it down. Please go ahead. Let's have these sessions more interactive, so that it will be not boring, and the questions that you ask might be common question for others as well. So don't hesitate to ask questions, and also don't think that what others will think of you, right? Nobody knows here by in person, so don't even worry what others are going to think or what I'm going to think. Even if it's a silly question, basic questions, don't hesitate. Okay, so that way the sessions will be interactive, and it will be more useful as well. Okay, so feel free to identifying the bottleneck. Very good. Thanks, Ramiredi. Identifying the bottleneck. Okay, very good. Detailed analysis of application in terms of code level, DB level. Okay, good. Okay, DB profiling. Okay. Giving executable insights. Okay, good. There was one thing I missed it. Okay, caching, load balancing, auto scaling. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll wait for the others to provide their views. Scalable load test design, auto scaling, load balancing, caching. Okay, good. For people who have just joined, we just started, guys, and I was just giving you the introduction, and we just trying to get views on what you mean by performance engineering, right? People have different perspective of what means by performance engineering. So I'm just asking everybody to provide their definition or what they're looking for. Good. Excuse me. Okay. UI plus APA plus DB bottleneck. Good. Okay, good. Any more? Anything addition? Good. Fine. So I'll just quickly uh, read through whatever you guys have provided, right? Identifying the bottleneck, detailed analysis on application in terms of code level, DB level, identifying performance bottlenecks and giving a recommendation, DB profiling, giving executable insights, again, bottleneck analysis, observability, tuning the Java apps, capacity planning, scalable load test design, auto scaling, load balancing, caching, again, finding bottlenecks and optimization, check the application performance, load and response time, UI, API, and DB bottleneck analysis. I think pretty much whatever you guys have told, it will fall under the performance engineering in various aspect. Okay. So yeah, the definition of most of you are correct. And what I will do is I'll just go to my slide, which will have a kind of comprehensive view of all these things. Okay, whatever you said is what I as well put it here in the slides. I'll just spend a couple of minutes to give a perspective of from my point of view, right? I presume that most of you who have joined here are from testing, performance testing background. Okay, who are people who are already in performance testing, right? You might be doing this Jmeter, LoadRunner scripting, and you'll be executing the Jmeter scripts or LoadRunner scripts. You might be doing monitoring. In some cases, you might get some access to the monitoring too, and you will be doing a monitoring. You'll be preparing some reports analysis after the test is completed. You might use Dynatrace or might not use APM tools. You will not be involved in bottleneck analysis, and there might be a separate performance engineering team as well, or development team who does all these things, right? So current state, I presume that most of you will fall under the whatever that you see it in the left side, right? And what we would want you to transform through this course is to gain experience, gain knowledge in whatever I mentioned in the right hand side, right? In an interview or in your project, when you move between projects, you should be able to go and state confidently that you know server side profiling, you know client side profiling, you're good at taking the dumps like heap dump and thread dump, and then analyzing those dumps. You should be able to analyze AWR reports from an application perspective. Tools like JProfiler, JVisual VM, JConsoles, all these monitoring and profiling tool you'll be having an hands on. You should be able to benchmark and tune your JVM applications. You should be good in one of the APM tool for doing the bottleneck analysis and deep dive diagnostics. And then using some of the open source monitoring tool, commercial tools, you should have an hands on. And you also should be comfortable with the Linux operating systems. Okay, so which means at the end of the course or after a couple of weeks after the course, right? You're not going to go and claim you have an experience. We are not going to give any false fake experience, right? What I'm going to say is you have knowledge all these, in all these areas. You have done hands-on in everything what you say. You would have done an hands-on with an application. So though you're not going to say you have an experience, you can very well go and claim that you have learned and then you have done hands-on and prepared yourself to do the performance engineering project. Okay. This on top of whatever you're already an experience in testing in left hand side, right? That is going to put you well ahead of others who don't have any of these skill set. Okay. See, today in the job market or whenever you're going to try for a new project, there are going to be competition, obviously. Okay. And we're not going to compete with the experienced performance engineers. They are going to be in a different cadre. They are going to be in a different brand or different salary caps as well, right? We're not going to compete those experienced architects or experienced performance engineer. How can you be differentiate yourself from the other normal performance testers? That is going to be your goal. That is going to be your objective as well. How can I stand out when I compare with the other performance testers? In today's LLM Gen AI world, a lot of scripting is going to get automated. A lot of your manual work is going to get automated, right? So unless the base we equip ourselves, or if you're going to transform ourselves, extending from testing to engineering, you will not be able to differentiate yourself in the interview or in the other projecting. Okay. So end of this course, you will be able to gain experience. Sorry, not experience. You will be able to gain the skills and knowledge in all these areas, provided you at least do one time hands on in all these things. You can listen to my sessions, but after a day or at least over a weekend, at least you can blindly do an hands on all these whatever you learn. That is very, very important for sure. Okay. So now when it comes to performance engineering, it's going to be a combination of couple of things, right? One is testing, which is one of your a component. And then you're going to have something on programming, which means it's not mandatory for you to learn Java or Python, something from scratch, right? But at least you should have some kind of a knowledge, some basic and so on. The reason is you're going to go and talk to your developer, and then you're going to pinpoint problems in their code. Okay. So normally when we go and talk to a developer saying that your transaction is having high response time or there are many failures, you will get questioned, right? They will say that your script is not good, your test data is not good, environment is a problem, and they will always keep challenging us, and will struggle a bit to go and convince them. Now you're going to go and say you're going to go further and say that your code is having a problem, your method is having a response time, your one of your object is having a memory leak, right? So if you're not confident enough, definitely they're not going to accept whatever you're going to say, and you're going to have a tough time. So when I say programming, you're not going to write code or you're not going to develop application. It is more in terms of just understanding few things from a from a developer standpoint. What is class? What is method? What is object? How to create Java programs? How to create simple Python programs? How to compile? How to call one class from another class file? How to call a database from a class file? Just a kind of a templatized way of understanding is very, very important. That also I will cover it during the initial sessions. Okay. And again, today with the Gen AI and LLM technology, right? You can do a lot of these programming by yourself, provided you have that little bit of passion, little bit of interest. You can learn easily those programs as well. You no need to remember anything, just more of you asking what you want, and you'd be able to get those program as well. So but again, we are not here to code, we are not here to create applications. We are here to understand something from a developer point of view, so that it's not going to be a black box. When you go and talk to developers, you should not feel inferior, you should feel confident. Okay. That's the objective. So one of the aspect of your performance engineering is going to be knowing little bit of program. uh, that's all, right? And then networking administration. When I say networking administration, you should be able to go and install softwares, install tools, right? All these terminologies like firewall, ports, um, uh, installing your softwares, deploying your application in a Tomcat or any web service. All these small things, we cannot rely on others people to do it. You should be able to be hands-on in these things as well. Okay, maybe not immediately you will be able to do it, but you should be open to install softwares and get problems. There are going to be problems when you're going to install softwares, install tools. You should be in an open mind where you can go and solve all these things. Everything first time it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but you would be able to easily resolve it. Uh, right? So networking administration is also not a direct performance engineering, but you should be comfortable with these small activities, right? Because in an organization, all these things is what is something people are expecting. Now, when it comes to system analysis, right? That is where all these things comes into picture. Whatever you guys typed in is what it is going to be part of your system analysis, or we call it as a in performance engineering. Okay, a performance engineer should be able to review the system architecture and then provide suggestion. Not a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year performance engineer, they would not be able to do it. But as you gain experience, you will be able to analyze your non-functional requirements given by your product owners, look into the design architecture of your from your development team, and then you should be able to go and analyze and then uh, uh, have a conversation with your architects and your business team from a SLA perspective, from a SLO perspective. Okay, so as you gain experience, you will do it. Maybe not. That's not an immediate role as a junior performance engineer. Okay, you would be able to create engineering strategies and your monitoring APM tools, or using the tools like JConsole, Dynatrace, AppDynamics, and using profiling tool like JProfiler, JProbe, JConsole. You should be able to analyze garbage collection related problems. You should be able to go and benchmark your JVMs, taking if dumps, thread dumps, analyzing it, analyzing your database from an application standpoint. Remember, we are not going to be a DBAs. We are not going to be database performance engineer. That's going to be a separate. That's going to be a separate stream by itself. We will never get into that area because DBAs are meant to do DB tuning. Your analyzing your database, configuration of your memory to your various components of database. All these things are going to be done by DBAs. We are never going to come into the picture. Okay. From an application standpoint, we will learn how to analyze database, analyze queries, buffer cache, your parsing efficiency. All these things is something you need to know. Okay, your client side experience, client side performance engineering, right? That's what we call the front end performance analysis. So all these is what a typical performance engineer will do across life cycle. Okay, and one more thing important is when you're going to be a performance engineer, you're going to be more relevant across SDLC. Now, if you do only scripting and execution, you would be getting involved maybe just before testing phase or during testing phase. You create scripts, you do execution, you do reporting, right? But when you're going to be a performance engineer, your role is going to be spreading across from requirement till production and post production also. Okay, as I said, analyzing your NFR in detail, working with your architects and working with your product owners, um, uh, and then defining the. You're not going to define, but you're going to analyze the NFR and then get it approved. And from a design perspective, you're going to review the architecture, review the design, and then see whether it is going to meet your non-functional requirements are there, requirements or not. During development phase is where as and when a code is getting developed, as and when a service is getting developed, right? You will do all these code profiling, memory leak analysis, your CPU profiling, finding out the method hotspots, client-side performance engineering. All these things is something you will do during a development phase as a developer develops in during a sprint, during a release, when he develops a service or develops a functionality. It's engineering team's responsibility to analyze whether there is any problem with the memory or with your CPU consumption. Okay. And then when it comes to testing phase, in addition to this doing a scripting and execution, you will also be doing a creating a monitoring strategy, creating an engineering strategy, and then you will be doing a monitoring, deep dive analysis, bottleneck analysis. If there's a problem, you'll go and take thread dumps, edumps, AWR reports, analyze all these dumps and reports. All these things is going to be part of your responsibility during a testing phase. Okay, and when you move to production, when the applications move to production, right? Um, uh, there's a role of SRE, but it's again there is a lot of organization. A performance engineer, he performs that role also, right? Uh, Doing a monitoring using RUM tools, configuration, creating synthetic monitoring components, analyzing the synthetic monitoring output, getting a feedback from production, because very important, right? Analyzing the production is very important so that you will know how the testing results were there in QA or in performance environment, and how the same application is now performing in a production environment. Okay, so the end-to-end in a life cycle, as a performance engineer, you will have a larger role to perform. So you will be relevant to the organization. You will be relevant to the whatever is happening in a SDLC cycle. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I'll take some water. Fine. So yeah, this is the more of a introduction I wanted to give you from a engineering across SDLC, right? What is required, why it is required, and what you will what are the knowledge you will gain is what I want to give as an introduction uh, to start with. Okay. Now moving on, I'll spend some time on what are these topics that you learn in this course. Okay, this course is going to spread over 3 to 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. Approximately, we used to have 22, 24 sessions covering all these things. Okay, um, we will start with some of the basics of Java and JVM. I would say I'll tell you why Java and JVM. Okay, there are a lot of technologies. You have Python, you have Node.js, you have .NET, and that there are many other as well. Okay, the reason when you're going to start learning performance engineering, why Java is preferred, there are many reasons. Number one reason is in any enterprise application, you still have Java as your main component. Okay, definitely you will see Java in your architecture one way or other. Second, when you go for interviews, when you go for any projects, when you say a performance engineering, you will get questions around all these topics. Okay, for sure. In Python, in .NET, lot of things are actually abstracted, and there's not a lot of activity that you do in Java you might not do in Python or other languages. There are reasons I'll explain later. Uh, why Java is still relevant? It's there for decades. Why it is still relevant? The reason is very simple. Reason is now I, as a product engineering lead, if I wanted to develop an application, there are a couple of things that I will consider. Right, one, availability of the resources and availability of the support forums, and then obviously what is needed for the architecture is very important as well. But when there's nothing that you cannot develop with Java, which you can develop with the other application. Python is something standout because Python is very specific to analytics, your data science. So in that way, Python is still going to be there as a backend, one of the downstream services that is not going to get replaced with Java for sure. But from a main application, from your front end, from your service layers, integration layer, Java is still there in a lot of enterprises, and it is going to be there for the next 5 6 years. So from all these angles is what we thought Java basics or JVM basics very important from interview, from the your project perspective also. So we'll get started with some of the concepts of Java basics and JVM basics, and we'll also go and do some hands-on programming as well. We'll try to learn how the Java is built, what are the classes, methods, objects, how programmatically it will look like. We'll go and write some program, very simple programs we'll write, and then compile, execute. That only reason is when we go for engineering topics, the terminology is waterlock analysis should not be a black box. You should be able to relate. You should be able to visualize it. That's the reason we will spend good amount of time initially on your Java basics and JVM basics. We'll go and write some programs. So one of the prerequisite is if you can add Eclipse in your mission, to start with, it will be good. Okay. A simple thing is what I need in your laptop. Okay. I need laptop. Your missions, any laptop or any Mac or anything is okay. You should have Java. Eclipse is good to have because if you also do some hands-on, it will give you a lot of confidence. Okay, and it's not going to be difficult. Okay, even if you're not a techie person, not technical person, that's still all okay. It's not going to be too technical at all. Okay, and we need Tomcat, and I will give you a Java application, sample Java application. It is going to be there in my drive, which you can download and set it up. I'll help you to set it up those application. Of course, Chrome, some Notepad editors. The other tools and all, you will leave it. JProfile and all, you're not required to start with. I just need a laptop with Java, Eclipse, Tomcat. That's it. Nothing else for the first 3 to 4 days at least. Okay. And all the whatever we learn, whatever softwares, the sample applications, sample application code, all these things will be available in my drive. Okay, so you'll get access to the drive, which will be having a lot of information, a lot of things that I do during the session. You'll be able to download and do it yourself. Okay, so say for example, all the Java sample programs, and then say for example, if you're going to do a memory leak analysis, okay, I'll be using certain WAR files. All these things are going to be available for you to download it. Okay, how to download, how to set it up and all, I'll explain to you in as you go further today or tomorrow. Okay, some of these heap dump reports, thread dump reports, all the artifacts is going to be, so any the all the communication of the softwares and all the files will be through this Google Drive. Okay, now going back to the topics. So after learning the Java basics and JVM basics, we will go into the engineering topics. Okay, what we'll do is we will assume that we are a performance engineering a team, and we are going to work for a application, and whatever that we are supposed to do during the development phase, right? As a code is getting deployed, as a login functionality is getting deployed, right? It's our responsibility is to go and do the some of the shift left early performance engineering. Okay, and when I say early performance engineering, it's going to be always single user your CPU profiling or single user memory profiling. Okay, it's not going to be under load. With always your server-side profiling is going to be with a single user. Okay, so we will go and deploy an application which will have some problems with response time, with memory, with thread problems, right? That's how we'll deploy it, and then we'll go and learn how to analyze your response time, how to debug the response time problems. We'll use the tools like Chrome developer tools, JProfiler, access logs to do the response time analysis. Whatever tool I use it, it's going to be an either open source or it's going to be available, though it is commercial, it will be available for you as a trial version. Okay, which means you will be able to install, download, install, and use it for your hands-on. Okay, so the response time analysis, CPU profiling, will start with our application. When I say application, right? Let me go and quickly show you the application as well. Okay, I'll show you tomorrow how to set it up, but I'll show the application now. I'll go and start the Tomcat. The same setup, I'll help you to set it up in your machine as well. It's getting started. So it's an e-library application. Okay, and it is still starting. Okay, it started. Okay, it's an e-library application. We'll have an admin login. We'll have a librarian login. It's like maintenance of your library, right? Admin can log in, and then you'll be able to go and view the librarians working for a library. You can go and add a new librarian. All these are the functionality from a admin perspective. And as a librarian, you can log in, you can add a book, you can issue a book, you can uh, view all the books that are issued. So all these it's a e-library, right? All the typical librarian functionality is going to be here. Okay, so I can go to the view librarian, and I can also go and add a librarian. All these things are going to be here. So this application is what we will be using it for our. I think the DB is down. Yeah, let me go and start the DB. So this application is a Java plus MySQL database, and there are also a Python backend microservice also part of this application. I'll explain you about the architecture and all later. But this is a sample application. Will be It's not a sample application. In fact, it's a real time application which we'll be using it for our all the testing and profiling and monitoring everything. Okay, so let it start. Yeah, so you get the view librarian, all the librarians, right? And then let me also go and just take this and then log in with the as a librarian login. I think I would have done some mistake. Okay, as a librarian, when I log in, you'll be able to view the book, issue book, view the issued book, written book, all the functionality. You'll be able to do it. Okay, I'll tell you how to set up this MySQL database and the Tomcat application in your machine tomorrow. That should not be difficult at all. It's very easy for you to do it. Okay, so this is the one which we'll be using it, allowing with some Python microservices. Okay, so we'll use this for responsive analysis, and then we'll go into your Java heap and Java memory. Okay, see the two things you should remember from a performance engineering perspective. Any application, any technology you take it, um, you're going to always analyze two things: CPU and memory. Right? Very simple, because any application is going to get deployed in your physical machine, right? It's going to be VM, physical machine, laptop, anything, and your machine is always going to be bounded by two things: CPU and memory. There's a limitation on your memory: 8 GB, 16 GB, 20 GB RAM, whatever it is, and CPU can be 2 core, 4 core, 8 core, whatever it is, right? So always there's going to be a limit. I mean, when you going to deploy your application in that machine, your application is going to consume that, right? When it's going to consume the CPU and memory, sometime then there's a problem, right? If your login functionality is taking more time to process the login functionality, more the processing time, more CPU it's going to use it, right? So your response time and CPU are interrelated or directly proportional. And same login functionality, it will going to consume memory, because within the login functionality code, they would have declared a lot of strings, arrays, objects, and integer, everything is going to consume memory. Okay, and if the memory is not de-allotted properly, again your login functionality is going to have a memory problem. So your capacity of your machine is going to get impacted if your functionalities are not properly optimized. If a login functionality is going to take 6 seconds, 8 seconds versus 3 seconds, you're going to waste your CPU, right? Your capacity, instead of 100 users, you'd be able to use only 30 or 40 users. I'm just one example, right? If your login functionality is going to consume more memory, then again it's going to impact your capacity. So that's the reason we always focus on how can I go and reduce my response time? How can I go and arrest any memory leaks if it is there in your functionality? Okay. if any technology, any application, ultimate aim is to look into these CPU and memory. So first thing is we'll understand the response time, and then see how we can optimize it, and then we'll go into the memory. In memory, we'll learn about heap, we'll learn about stack. There are many components within Java memory, but these are the two important things. We'll go and learn these concepts practically also. And then for the same e-library application, for a couple of functionalities, we'll go and analyze the memory pattern, and then we'll go and do the memory leak analysis, and then find out bottlenecks. And the way we'll do is, since we have the sample application code also, I would be able to go and explain you what is the actual problem in the code, and then how are we going to fix it from a response time perspective or from the memory leak perspective. Okay. Again, in your project, you might not get access to the code. We are not going to go and tell developer change this line or modify this code. You go and declare this variable differently. We are not going to pinpoint code changes at all. That's not going to be a responsibility. That's not going to be possible also, because until otherwise you're going to be a Java developer or .NET developer or a Python developer, we can go and suggest code changes. Our job is to identify problems, do a diagnostics, do a bottleneck analysis, and provide the observations and your inference. That's where our job stops. We'll not even get access to the code in the project. Now, during our learning, we will, since we have a e-library code with us, we'll also go and see what is happening behind the scenes, so that you'll get much more knowledge. Okay, so we'll go and do the memory leak analysis, and then identify problems, and then fix the problem, and then again we will go and test it. Okay, and an extension of memory leak is going to be your heap dump. While memory leak analysis is going to be a single user, when you during a load testing, you cannot do a leak your profiling. You cannot use the tool like JProfiler and all in your doing a load testing or any endurance testing kind of exercise. Okay, so when you do a load testing, when you do a endurance testing, when there is a memory problem, there we'll go and take a dump. Okay, so we'll go and learn heap dump. What is heap dump? How to take heap dump? Analyzing the heap dump, and then garbage collections, various garbage collectors, various components of garbage collection, minor GC, major GC, your hidden space, old generation, new generation. What are the various GC tuning parameters? When to use it? All these things in detail we will be learning. So, which means the memory itself, it's close to a week session. We will have it in detail, starting from Java heap, stack, leak analysis, heap dump, and GC analysis. Okay, and then from there we will move on to the Java threads. Okay, while we say that CPU is important, memory is important, thread is going to be one level on top of these CPU, right? We'll learn what are threads, why threads are important, what's the role of threads, and what are the various contentions problem that could come from Java threads. We will learn how to configure minimum threads, maximum threads, and then your thread locks, thread dumps, thread dump analysis, all these in detail we will learn. Okay. While all these things, whatever I've been talking about, is purely from a server side. Okay. When I say server side, it's completely from a code server aspect, right? But it's also equally important to go and analyze your front end, analyze your client side. Equally very important, because as an end user, that's what I see. I don't see your CPU, I don't see your memory, thread, and all. When I load a page, how fast a page is coming, how is my experience? So we'll learn, we'll go and learn what is front end experience, why it is important, what are the various metrics like your time to first byte, time to first paint, all these things we will learn. And also we'll learn about optimizing your web page, how to reduce your page size, how to reduce the number of resources, caching, browser cache. So all these things we'll learn from a client side perspective. Okay. Now, the another important thing is, as a performance tester, we go and create test plans, right? As a performance engineers, it's very important for us to go and create the test engineering test strategy and also the monitoring strategy. Very, very important. we spent a lot of time in scripting executions, but without the proper observability, without proper monitoring of the components, you will not be able to validate, certify your application. So you learn how to analyze the architecture, how to come up with the monitoring strategy, and we'll go in detail and learn Dynatrace from an application monitoring perspective. We'll also cover AppDynamics, AppDynamics, uh, and Dynatrace, how to configure it with the e-library application, how to when running a small test, how to monitor all the various components, how to do a deep dive diagnostics, how to do a bottleneck analysis with APM tool. All these things we will learn. Okay, and from an open source perspective, also a lot of places you will find you will not have these APM tools, right? You might still need to do some basic monitoring using open source. So we'll learn how to use Telegraph and Grafana from an open source monitoring.
Satish?
Yes.
Open source, we have Prometheus, right? No, and Grafana is a very good combination with this, right? So is there any possibility to cover that?
See, yes, there are a lot of tools, of course. The course is tailored for this Telegraph and Grafana.
Okay.
If time permits, if I could able to set up Prometheus, I'll also try to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. But any specific reason? Maybe in your organization, Prometheus is
No,
preferred
no,
for
no.
the.
But,
Okay.
if you look at an APM tools, the only one, the best, available widely using is Prometheus and Grafana, right? All AppDynamics Dynatrace is the commercial tools. Many organizations may not afford these things.
So, okay, when you say Prometheus and Grafana as an alternate to AppDynamics and Dynatrace, I doubt it. I don't know. I have to look into it. Okay, because you can monitor. Monitoring is different, but doing a bottleneck analysis is different. Okay, when you want to do a diagnostic of your response time, you can do it in APM tools, right? But in Prometheus or with Grafana, until otherwise you're going to have custom agents deployed in your server. By default, it is not going to provide you your response time split up or response time at the method level. Correct?
Yes, correct. No, it works based on agents. It is.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check out, and then if possible, I'll cover. I'll come back to you on that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So so after doing this, database monitoring is also very, very important. While you can do a database monitoring from a SQL perspective in AppDynamics or any APM tool, you would be able to nail down for a functionality or for an overall application level, what are the various SQL queries are called, what is the response time of the SQL, you will be able to get it from APM tool, right? But from an application perspective, there are concepts like your buffer cache, parsing efficiency, from Oracle, SGA, PGA, all understanding of all these components and performance specific concepts like buffer cache and parsing efficiency is very important. And also how to monitor these metrics from a AWR report, right? So these things as well in detail, you'll be learning. Again, from a database perspective, will not go in detail into database performance optimization at all. As I said, it's a DBS work. We will not be allowed to go and configure your SGAs or PGAs or your heap, all these indexing, setting the table space. It's going to be governed completely by your DBS. There are many practical reasons as well. Okay, your database will be used by multiple applications. Your DBS will have a better knowledge on what kind of tables are used frequently, what queries are coming in. So they are the one who are meant to do all these tuning and optimization from a database perspective. But from an application performance engineer perspective, we will go and learn what you will do. Okay. Now, after learning all these things, then we will go into some theoretical stuff. What is non-functional requirements from an engineering perspective, not from a testing perspective, right? You have a major role in analyzing NFRs, so that it is going to be accurate. Without proper NFRs, without proper workload, whatever you do is not going to be realistic. So your responsibility as a NFR, a non-functional requirement gathering and analysis is going to be very, very important. And also, we'll go and see how to create engineering strategies for your agile in sprint, at the end of the sprint, end of the release. What are all things you will do from a agile delivery model? Okay. Now, all these are all from an engineering perspective, right? Now, from a future readiness perspective, DevOps is not something future. It's already there, and it's been there for last 5-6 years or whatever it is, right? But still, from when it comes to performance, when it comes to interviews, they still see it as a new or niche. Okay, so from that perspective, you would get an access to my video where I would have talked about what is performance in DevOps, what are the various myths, practically what challenges you will face when you're trying to integrate Jmeter to your Jenkins or any other tool. What are all things you should take care from a test data perspective, from a downstream services perspective, from picking up your scripts. So all this, from a practical standpoint, I would have explained in a video. You will get access to the video as well. And from a SRE, I was talking about synthetic monitoring, right? Again, you will get an access to my video, which will give you in detail about what is synthetic monitoring, how do you create synthetic monitoring using Dynatrace, what are all things you will monitor, how to configure those synthetic monitoring tool across regions. You will be able to gain that knowledge through this video. Okay, Python, we'll cover a little bit of Python as well, because Python is there everywhere now with analytics, data science. One of the downstream services, you will definitely see Python appearing in every architecture. So we'll try to understand how different Python is going to be from your Java, and what are the various tools available from analysis profiling perspective. And we'll also use the same APM tool to do the response time analysis of these profiling of these Python services as well. As I mentioned, I have one of the Python-based services integrated with this e-library application. So with that, we'll be able to go and monitor and do a analysis on the Python service as well. Okay, and we'll also go and have a session on cloud. Cloud again, it's not future. It's there for last 6-7 years easily, but still, it's important for you to though you have worked or not, you should know about auto scaling, your resiliency, chaos scenarios. What there are myths in there are a lot of places where people say that why do we need performance testing in cloud? Cloud is going to take care of the performance. So we'll try to understand what are the myths around, why it is important, what are the additional scenarios you will do, what is going to be same irrespective of cloud or not. Your scripting, execution, analysis, all your engineering activity, it's going to be same whether it's going to be cloud or on-prem. Right? All these things we will learn from a cloud performance. Okay. We'll also go and try to look into the Kubernetes architecture, some of the terminologies you should be aware of, right? We'll not go in detail about all these Kubernetes and all, but at least from a basic, what is node, what is pod, what is container, how a application will look like with inside your Kubernetes cluster. Again, more from your interview perspective, more from your knowledge, this is still key. So on top of this, all these engineering sessions, you will have all the future ready topics taken at the end. Okay, and additionally, you will get some videos as well. One is on the Linux for performance. It's a 6 to 8 hours of video, which was recorded by me, because it's very important for you to use Linux. You will be using Linux for your executions, setting up your load generators. Your service will be in Linux. So basic interaction with Linux is always going to be important. Some of the tools, some of the monitoring. So you will get a good knowledge on how to use this Linux as a performance system. Splunk videos also will be given. Splunk videos, especially, it's not from me. Okay, it's not from me. It's from other trainer. Since there are a frequent ask of a log analytic tool, we have added this to the videos as well. Okay, so you'll get access to the Splunk video, but it's not mine. It's from the other trainer in Isha. Okay, so all this is what we will be covering it in detail in the next 22 to 24 sessions, covering the next 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, um, the sessions are going to be between 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. IST. From tomorrow, we'll start at 8:30 and it will end at 9:30 p.m. Any questions from payment registration, you can reach out to Kumar sir. Any question on the session topics, clarifications on whatever I'm talking about today, feel free to ask questions now, put it in the chat. Or if you wanted to have a conversation tomorrow during the daytime to know whether it is applicable or not with your experience, your skill set, if you want any recommendation, any inputs, you can reach out to me. I'll message my number in the WhatsApp group. You can also message me tomorrow and we can connect based on our availability. Okay. I'll pass it here, guys. Any questions, put it in the chat, or you can feel free to ask over the call as well.
Satish?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go on. Yeah.
So, LoadRunner, a micro focus tool, also teach in this session.
See, this is the performance engineering session, right? So we will not cover the performance testing tool here. Yeah, I'm not sure about whether your experience, your experience in, do you have experience in any of the load testing tools, sir? Any Jmeter or perform LoadRunner you have worked or you have learned already?
Yeah. I have 2 years of experience in LoadRunner.
Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, this is not going to be anything on load testing tool. I'll be using Jmeter scripts for this e-library application for execution and all, but we will not cover the Jmeter tool or LoadRunner tool here. But I'll be using the Jmeter tool to run some small test. I'll be using it. Yeah.
Okay. What is the duration, sir?
Duration is, as I said, it will be between 4 to 5 weeks, Monday to Friday. Mostly we'll have it in the weekday. If there are any cancellation for whatever reasons, we might compensate in any of the Saturdays. So it is going to be between 4 to 5 weeks starting tomorrow, so which means it will go till July end.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hi, Satish.
Yeah, ma'am.
Just wanted to ask, so I had seen something in the course description that you're covering something on generative AI for performance
Yes.
testing. So
Yes.
is it only the Python part or is it something else, any other topic in generative AI?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's not added here. You're right. Good that you have brought out. We will have a one session on the basics of prompt engineering, LLMs, generative AI. What are the use cases that are going to be for our non-functional testing? All these things we'll cover it. And how are we going to use GenAI for, say, creating some API scripts or generating some NFRs, generating test plans. So all these things I'll be covering it as part of the introduction to the GenAI. Okay, it is not going to be any practical session, but I'll be covering how to use it. How are we going to make use of these your GitHub Copilot or your other LLMs for generating API scripts or generating your NFRs or creating a summary report. I'll be giving you the all these information during the introduction to the GenAI session.
Okay, so that is going to be like for what duration? I mean, is it going to be in depth?
That's going to be just one session, right? Because it's very important for everybody to understand how are we going to use a technology like GenAI for our performance testing. So it's planned only for one session, 1 hour, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is an engineering course, and we added GenAI because when it's also part of your work life going forward, right? It's going to be your that's why they call it as a co-pilot. It's always going to be with you, helping you. So it is required for us to know how to use it. So that part is what I'll be covering.
because in said I have attended your this class long ago, actually, this course on performance engineering,
Okay,
and
great.
yeah, it was very helpful for me. At least getting looking out for jobs and all. I mean, this course helped me a lot. But now when I saw
Okay.
this on in our chat, I was just seeing this addition called AI. So I
Okay,
wanted
okay.
to know how have you integrated it in the
Okay.
session, and will it really help me if I do this again? So that is why I wanted to just inquire. But
Okay.
anyways, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay, ma'am. You just message me. Probably
mhm,
you can check with Kumar sir and get the maybe some of the latest videos
yeah.
since you've already attended this, right?
Uh-huh.
Or maybe when the sessions comes, you can just join for those days alone. You can just check with Kumar sir once, or just ping me. I'll also help you out.
Okay, because I wanted something in depth in AI, like that's what I was looking for. Like I thought
Oh,
maybe
okay,
looking
okay.
something more on the AI part, so that's the reason. But
Just
yes, I'll
just just
connect
message
with you.
me. Just message me what you're looking for, ma'am. I'll give you the maybe there are other courses that are happening in parallel,
Yeah, yeah.
or I'll
I
I'll
think
I'll,
some.
I'll give you
Okay, I'll
information.
connect with you. I'll connect
Just
with
ping me
you.
that. Yeah, yeah,
I
sure.
will. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, thanks. And thanks for your feedback, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, hi Satish.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. So are we going to get all the video lectures downloaded?
Yeah, good. So next day you will get access to the playlist. So all these videos will be added to the YouTube playlist, and it will be a private playlist, and you will be added to the playlist. So all these videos every day, it will be recorded, and next day by afternoon IST you will get the video link, and it is going to be permanent access. So that's how the team operates. All the videos will be available through the YouTube playlist. It's going to be a private playlist, and you'll get an access to that permanently.
Okay. And about doubt solving, like, can we get to ask you doubts even after the completion of the course?
See, I mean, normally that's what we do. We This group will be alive for at least they don't get deleted for 3 to 4 months at least. Okay, so after the course is completed, you do hands-on, you do doubts, and you can definitely raise those questions in the group, or maybe separate it to the my uh, uh, number as well. Right, either way it is okay. Yes, definitely. When you ask question, it is kind of I might know the answer, I might not know the answer. So it is either way it is good, right? Both of us will learn. So you will. It is not going to be dedicated support, but definitely you will get the answers for your questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, as I said, tomorrow as well, right? During daytime, if you guys want to discuss with me, a lot of people might have questions whether it is relevant for me or not, with my skill set, with my experience, whether I should learn this or not, maybe something else. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we can work out a time, and then we'll discuss. Okay. Otherwise, if you have any questions on the payment or registration, you can reach out to Kumar sir, and day one will start from tomorrow, guys, and we'll meet tomorrow.
Please send Kumar sir's phone number into the chat
Yes,
as well.
I'll do that in the group. I'll do that in the group.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, guys. Thank you all. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.